I don't know. The Guardians have warred with the Dravanians for centuries, nay, nearly 1,000 years. In all that time, not once have their enemies breached their defenses and entered the city proper. Yet regardless of how strong these magical wards may be, I nevertheless fear that the Ishgardians are underestimating the gravity of the situation. Though it was not Midgar Summer who roared, to call to arms by one of the first brood cannot be ignored. Until such time as they choose request our aid, however, we can do naught but observe the situation at a distance and pray that our fears are unfounded. I forget, I believe Moen Brita has requested a gathering of the Scions. I assume there has been some progress in concerning our efforts to combat the Ascians. Pray inform her that our business with the Ishgardians is concluded for the moment. I shall be along once I've completed my communications with the Crystal Braves. Alright. All done with your talk of dragons? Wonderful, because Ascians are the next on the menu. Let us be into the soil, shall we? Okay.
Now that everything's calmed down a bit, relatively speaking, I mean, I thought it might be a good time to share our progress on the weapon. I believe we're on the verge of a breakthrough.
Well, don't keep us all in suspense.
Just in case anyone's forgotten, let's start by reviewing what we already know.
One of these again.
So, an Ascian is an immortal because its soul doesn't return to the ethereal realm when its host is defeated. Instead, it flees to the place that lies between our world and the void. Therefore, the first step to permanently defeating an Ascian is preventing its soul from making this journey. And if you recall, when we last gathered here, I had verified that white auracite has adequate capacity to entrap the beings, albeit only briefly.
Which left the small matter of their extermination.
Aye. To unmake an Ascian soul, one must needs smite it with a concentrated burst, or blade, of purest ether. However, we wanted for both the data and the means to forge such a weapon.
Short of experimenting on an actual Ascian, you see, there's no way to gauge how much ether its soul is made of. As such, we don't know what etheric density our blade needs to have in order for it to work.
So we'll just have to make the densest blade we can and hope for the best. Though that would require a lot of ether. Hang on a minute! Why didn't we think of this before? White auracite can hold an absolute heap of ether, can't it?
Please tell me you're joking. God's sakes, Ida. I feel as though I'm reliving the same scene over and over with you. How many times do you need to be told that white auracite cannot store ether for long periods? Being intangible matter, ether is given to dispersion. Only in its crystallized form is it a stable source of energy. I will test you later on this, so see to it you do not forget.
Right, yes. It's all coming back to me.
So our hopes rest on good old crystals again, do they? While they are certainly reliable, they leave something to be desired in the area of portability.
Indeed. I am reminded of the quantity of corrupted crystals required to thwart Leviathan, and the extraordinary lengths to which the Lamentsons went to transport them. What if it should prove that a similar quantity was needed to destroy an Ascian's soul? Or still more?
I do not envy the poor sod who has to lug all of that around on the off chance that an Ascian appears.
That's the very problem we set out to solve, and I reckon we've found the answer. If it isn't practical to lug around the ether we need, we'll just have to draw upon another source. And the only viable source is the land.
If you mean to tap the Great River of Ether, know that it will entail considerable risk. Meddling with the currents may well induce a surge like to the one which despoiled Mordona.
Give me a bit more credit, will you? Why would we need to tap the river when there are veritable reservoirs jutting out all over the land?
He's got a point.
I speak of corrupted crystals. It might be that their aspect is out of balance, but a crystal's a crystal. It contains ether, and we can help ourselves to it.
While corrupted crystals are indeed abundant, there is no guarantee that they will be in close proximity at a crucial moment.
But what if we don't need them to be? What if we could tap their power from afar? A malm away, say? If we could do that, we'd have ready access to ether aplenty in almost every corner of Eorzea. I've yet to put my theories to the proof, but I've got a good feeling about this. If no one has any objections, I'd like to see where this avenue leads.
If you think it's worth your while, you have my blessing. But tell us, what are your theories? I, for one, am most eager to understand the process, however vaguely.
I thought you might say that, but no one wants to listen to boring old theories all day, do they? I know I don't. So with your permission, I'd like to try something a bit more hands-on. I've already built an etheric siphon especially for this purpose, and I've been meaning to try it out. Thing is, the profusion of corrupted crystals in Mordona makes it something of a high-risk testing ground. If anything goes awry with the siphon, it would be better if it didn't happen within spitting distance of quite so much ether. Ideally, I need an isolated specimen. Does anyone know where I can find one?
May I suggest northern Thanalan? There you will find corrupted crystals of middling size, standing a reasonable distance apart. Ideal for your needs, I should have thought. Oh, and if you do elect to visit the place, I should be much obliged if you would assist me in another matter while you are in the area.
Has something happened?
Movement has been observed at Castrum Meridianum. During Operation Archon, the Alliance dealt the stronghold a heavy blow. Its facilities were extensively damaged, and its garrison reduced to a fraction of its former strength. Not long after our forces withdrew, however, their ranks were replenished by reinforcements from Castrum's sentry. They now seek to rebuild, and to this end they have their sights set upon the ceruleum processing plant. Having lost the Empire's support, the 14th Legion lacks the resources to sustain itself. To them, this is a bid for survival, and they will doubtless fight like desperate men. Though I have dispatched the Crystal Braves, I fear their strength alone may not suffice to stay the Imperial assault. I would request the Scion's aid in the defensive effort.
If I didn't know better, I'd say you were trying to inveigle us into fighting your battle with the promise of shiny crystals. Well then, consider me inveigled. I won't lie, the crystals you speak of sound perfect, so the Garleans have to go. Besides, we can't afford to beat about the bush. There's no telling when the Arcians will next appear.
Praetorium hard?
Thine eagerness to hurl thyself into the jaws of danger cometh as little surprise. Exercise due caution, I prithee.
That's what I do that.
Though you have become a Crystal Brave, you are yet a Scion, Alphino. We could hardly refuse you.
I said Praetorium hard.
Pray, join the Crystal Braves and lend them your support. Thangrid and Papalimo shall accompany you.
That'd be so funny.
Ida and Yashtola, in the meantime, I would have you assist Moonbreeder. Scout out the crystal clusters, that the testing may commence as soon as the Garlean threat has been eliminated.
If it please you, I shall continue mine own experiments on white aurosite.
Thank you, Arianger. Everyone, pray see to your preparations and depart as soon as you are able.
Be safe. Accidentally skipped that part, my bad. My bad, my bad, my bad. It seems that the events have once more conspired to rob us of rest and recuperation. Though I would wish it otherwise, I must ask that you head straight away to the processing plant. The 4th have already deployed the area and await your arrival. Meanwhile, I must rendezvous with Captain Ilberd at our headquarters in Ul'dah. I shall take command of our forces there with a lighter heart, knowing that you go to support the front lines. All right. Your duties take you to northern Thanalan, do they not? We too must say our farewells to the Rising Stones for a time. Rahamin travels to Ul'dah and we shall serve as her escort. Oh, cool. At my daughter's behest, I go to contact certain old acquaintances in the Gilded City. We are beset on all sides by civil unrest and imperial machinations, threatened by primals and troubled by dragons. We need all the allies we can muster. Many of my friends hold positions of power, you see, and it is my hope that they can be convinced to aid the Scions' cause. If past events are taught us anything, then we know that Eorzea must present a united front, or we shall fall. How extraordinary that my little Asilia is involved in such far-reaching affairs. I am proud that I might now stand at her side, not only as a mother, but as a colleague. A colleague with influential connections. But I fear that Ul'dah has become a place of danger, even for one so familiar with their streets. Bah, woe betide the blackguard that so much as glares in your direction, milady. Nice. Ha ha ha. I shall be well protected, it seems. Shall we be on our way then? Cheers, love. Good day. Storage not. Excuse me. Oh, right. We're going to Thananalanalan. Bananaland. The Nana-alan. Hello, Will Red. Commander Levier sent word that you'd becoming a veteran of your talents is most welcome. Not that I don't think we can handle the situation, mind you. I've learned a trick or two since that disaster with the Emulja. But returning to the task at hand. Whoops. The Flames' reconnaissance scouts have reported Imperial soldiers assembling at Raban's push. Such a force is likely interested in only one thing, getting their hands on resources found here at the processing plant. The Garleans could begin marching on us at any time. Pray speak with the Lieutenant Edelstein that we might coordinate our counter strategy. I read Edelstein and thought of Dragoon Bro. I was like, huh? In the meantime, I will inform the others that you have arrived. No doubt it will be welcome tidings. Alright. Corporal Saravane, my soldiers yet tell tales of your deeds during the Operation Archon. With that, we could sit a while and reminisce about old times, but I fear more pressing matters require your attention. I had my sappers take a closer look, and our worst fears are confirmed. These boxes contain powerful explosive devices of Imperial design. In the meantime, our scouts bring troubling news of the latest movements within the Imperial Army. I would ask again for your aid. We've been keeping a close eye on the Garlean garrison, and it would seem the Imperials have begun to mobilize. According to the reconnaissance, reports just came in. The squads seen leaving the castrum are too few in number. I have, of course, also shared this report with the Crystal Braves. They've decided to take to the field and meet this assault head-on. Report to Lieutenant Eliane. In here? Glad to have you with us, Machias. As I'm sure Lieutenant Edelstein has explained, the Garleans have deployed a small force from Castrum Meridianum. Their main column assembles to the north near Dalamud's Talons, but we've also spied several squads attempting to conceal themselves on the approach to the west. They wish you to rush forth and commit to battle with the main column, leaving the detached force free to raid the plant and pillage supplies. Not much of a strategy, but these are desperate men. Captain Elbert. Greetings, Scion. I understand the commander bid you and your fellows come lend a hand to the Braves. With such mighty heroes at its disposal, the 4th should have little trouble contending with aught the Garleans might throw at them. But even you cannot be everywhere at once. The 3rd was getting restless holed up in Ul'dah, so I marched them out here to fill any holes in the plant's defenses and add their numbers to your counterattack. Reinforcements are welcome. We have enough soldiers now to divide our own forces and safely engage the enemy far beyond the walls. Aye, it would be best to avoid staging a battle anywhere near this much ceruleum. Let's take this fight to the Garleans. A wise course indeed. I shudder to think the consequences should any of these strange tanks be exposed to fire. If there are no objections, the Scion shall join the 4th and give battle to this main column. You're with the 3rd then, Warrior of Light. Your job will be to intercept these squads hiding out in the west and prevent them from reaching the processing plant. When you're ready to proceed, report to Lieutenant Yuhayes. His scouts should have a rough idea of where the Imperials have concealed themselves by now. All right. Pleasure to be finding at your side once more, Scion. Our operations invariably succeed when you're around, and victories are wont to pave the road to greater coin. Now, this detached force we've been sent to eliminate has split into smaller squads, better to conceal themselves within the terrain hereabouts, I imagine. We'll need to split ourselves up as well to cover more ground and make sure we root out all these would-be raiders. And seeing as you're an army unto yourself, I've assigned you your own areas to scour clean of enemy soldiers. We'll rendezvous back here when the job is done. Okay, I can do that. Ba, 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 ba. You seem grim, son. I'll take that to the mean that between us, more than a few Garlands won't be making it back to the Castrum. These Imperials, though, they certainly made us earn our pay. I would be a happy man if I never had to tussle with another one of those Magitech horrors. The time we bid this war-torn land farewell, I will contact the 4th and let Lieutenant Elian know the rest is clear. Ba, 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 ba. Corporal Saravane. What news of the Garlands? Raiding parties no more. Excellent. Amagina engineers will be most relieved to hear that the plant is no longer in any immediate danger. Thank you again for your assistance. Woo! You must be anxious for word of your fellows. Lieutenant Elian has reported a sound victory over the main column. The Rogadine lady with a large axe would appear she has chosen to remain at the site of the battle. I know not what a task keeps her from returning to civilization, but Northern Thanalan is no place to wander alone, even for a capable sort such as her. I would certainly feel better about things if you could check on her before you continue on your way. What are you doing out here, Moonbreda? All by your lonesome like this? Excuse me.
Hold on, I won't be a second. The beast seemed peckish, so I gave it a taste of my axe. I know. As Urianger never tires of reminding me, an axe ill becometh the hand of a scholar. What can I say? I like axes. To hear my mother tell it, I came into this world holding one.
Nice.
And it's not as if it stopped me picking up a quill, is it? I often think of the man who introduced me to the joys of learning. He's one of the reasons I decided to come to Eorzea. Him and my excruciatingly stiff childhood friend. Considering how unalike we are, it's a wonder we ever got on. The world's a strange old place, isn't it? Aye, that ought to do it. So far, so good. At these concentrations, it shouldn't matter too much if something goes awry. Just enough ether to make it interesting. Did you see that? The way the crystal glowed? The siphon works, I'm happy to say. With a few refinements, it should satisfy our appetite for ether, which just leaves the small matter of forging our blade. I'm not sure how to go about it just yet, but I swear to find a way. I'll put a blade in your hands if it's the last thing I do.
He senses me. A useful talent.
An Ascian. Are they onto us?
By your brand, I see you are an Archon of Sharlayan, keeper of knowledge, seeker of truth. Meddler.
Meddler.
I don't know what the hell's you're saying, but I don't much like your tone.
Your instincts serve you well. But come, be not unsettled on my account. That lovely brow was not made for frowns. But I waste my breath. Let me direct my words to one who understands them. We meet at last, warrior of light. I am Nabriales. And you have long been a thorn in my side. I suffered the overweening presence of La Habrea that men might host the power of gods, only for you to undo my hard work.
Oh, bugger.
Do settle down. You must concede that I acted in self-defense. But what's this? I do not sense the blessing of light.
Stop it.
Oh dear. Could it be that frail Hydaelyn has forgotten her champion? This I did not foresee. Shorn of light as you are no longer a threat. And better yet, the seal is broken. Now is the time to claim the staff. With it in my grasp, I shall rise above them all and take my place at Lord Zodiac's right hand.
Crap.
What did that bastard want with us? Nobrialis, he calls himself. With charm like that, I'll bet he has maidens falling at his feet, unconscious. But this staff, you say just talking about it had the bastard grinning like a brat on his name day. Must be quite a staff. Oh, gods. He means Tupsimati, Master Louis Soir's staff.
Oh.
Minfilia's in danger. We have to get back to the Rising Stones.
Oh. Crap. Oh, man. Bugger. You're here. Master Louis Soir's staff is kept in the solar, isn't it? Quickly now. Oh, man. Yep, it's gone. Damn it.
You two.
So, you were able to divine my intent. What now, warrior of light? Ah, but that name is no longer fitting. You have become decidedly dull, and quite incapable of barring my entry.
I'll stick you like a pig, you better watch out.
What do you mean?
You truly do not know? Then I suppose it is only right that I enlighten you. The blessing of light kept you and your fellow meddlers safe. It was that which prevented my kind from entering your domain.
Oh.
My kind, I say, though it had no power over the likes of Elidibus and La Habrea. Being of this world, they could come and go as they please, while I could only look on. But I need look no longer. Now that the seal is gone, I mean to act. Unlike the others, I am not given to waiting. I shall take that staff and bring about the next rejoining.
Rejoining? Then it was your doing. The Isle of Val, the scholars, all of it.
You will not harm her!
You tell her, girl. Oh god, there she goes again. Bro, what?
Rita!
Why must you insist on forcing my hand? Did you learn nothing from our last meeting? Ah, but I forget.
Dude.
My words fall upon deaf ears.
The staff is but a broken relic, a memorial to the departed. What possible use could you have for it?
What use? You mean to say that all this time you kept the key, never knowing what it was you possessed? The staff Tupsimati, or rather the stone tablet it bears, is host to a great power. Together with the horn, it can be used to draw vast quantities of ether from its bearer's surroundings. How else do you think Louis Soir was able to invoke the power of the 12 without making them an offering of crystals? Summoning requires not only prayer, but a profusion of ether. Even a child knows that.
If I did not know before, you may be certain I do now. But above all, I know that we cannot allow this staff to fall into your hands. I will die before I let you take it.
You know, I had thought
Insufferable
something like
woman.
that throughout.
I would happily end your miserable life here and
game
now.
thus far.
Alas, Elidibus would never let me hear the end of it. Very well. If you will not part with the staff, I will take you too.
Oh my god. Oh man. Born Brita, a lady.
After them! Quickly! Before the rift closes!
We're going in. The chrysalis now accessible. Oh. We enter it from here? Oh, okay. You ready? All right. I want to read this. A ruthless Ascian, known as Nebrialis, has intruded upon the sanctum of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, spiriting away both the antecedent and the powerful relic she refused to yield. Pursue the Paragon through the dimensional rift and prize Minfilia and Tupsimati from his tenebrous grasp. 10-minute wait, man.